I'm Carolyn Haeler. I am the founder and CEO of Mightylicious. We make gluten-free cookies and bake mixes.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I got one for you guys. I got something that you guys might run to the store. I had to put these up high on the bar because once we opened up, where the coconut, because there's only one packet left. Once we open up the coconut cookies, this one packet, I think I have to share, but we'll see. This is Mightylicious. You heard it right. It's cookies, but there's also flour in there, and it is gluten-free. I know I'm making a lot of noise with the introduction, but I want to show you. You guys have plenty of options, plenty of flavors to go check out. So I'm going to bring in the owner who created this, Miss Caroline, because health-wise, she had to create something gluten-free, and you might be in the same position. Caroline, welcome to Diversified Game. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for the cookies and the flour. I know it will all be finished, and it'll be probably the healthiest sugar that we have in the house all year round hangout. Tell us, as a banker, as a financial person, I should say, I know this was health-wise that you wanted to create something, but can you tell the people, because I got all that other stuff that you said in all the other podcasts out the way, what was like your first step in the finance? So many entrepreneurs have great ideas. They don't know their numbers, and you're ready for Shark Tank. So tell us about, that. Did you go to VC? Did you have angels, friends and family? You created the cookie, you got your recipe right. Financially, what were your first steps?
That is a great question. And this is like, I always give the wrong answer because I'm supposed to say I went to VCs. So my background is in finance. You're right. I was a banker. So you can refer to me as a banker, as literally a private banker for 10 years at JP Morgan. So I had been around, and the private bank is closely connected to our investment bank there. So whenever there's an IPO or something goes public, those shares come to us, we offer them to our private clients, things like that. So I've been around money and cash flows for quite a long time. And I also gone to business school and had taken all the classes in VC and corporate finance and all those things. And the interesting thing happened because I had all these clients and I was in the closely held business team, and those are family businesses, very, very wealthy family businesses. And I had all these clients, and one of my clients said to me one day, "Oh yeah, Carolyn, I started my company by selling peaches on the side of the road." Right? So this is, probably a long time ago when we were in an economy that was emerging, and America was probably post World War II, and America was an emerging economy and starting to grow, and opportunity was literally just falling off the trees. But that really stuck with me. I also learned that wealthy people, and I'm talking billionaires, they make a lot of money off of IPOs and all the flashy things and stocks and investments, but they make a lot more money off the debt side of the balance sheet through bonds and loans, and they make a tremendous amount of wealth using debt. And I learned a lot from that and seeing that, which is not something that they really even emphasized in business school. And so when I started my company, it was for health reasons. I was diagnosed with celiac disease and I got tired of eating just garbage food that was, I have a partner, he's my SVP of sales, and I sent him some cookies that were gluten-free from my competitors. And he was like, "Carolyn, some of those products I wouldn't even feed to my dog." And that's how bad it can be. There's obviously some really great products out there, so I don't want to put down everyone, but it can be really challenging to find something that's even edible, let alone something that you enjoy. So that's where it came from. But I started my company intentionally, really small. And I had been working in finance. I had a really good credit score. I had access to personal lines of credit. And so I didn't bite off more than I can chew in the beginning. I knew that there was gluten-free is a relatively competitive marketplace. I know that I was going up against companies like Mondelez and Nabisco. And they have a lot of market share and a lot of market power. They literally own the cookie market. And so I was like, I'm not going to go head to head with them. I didn't go out and try and find a VC to invest in a gluten-free cookie company. I went to stores and I walked into a Whole Foods on Upper East Side and said, I make gluten-free cookies. And they said, that's the best cookie I've ever tasted. And that was on a Thursday. By Monday, they were onboarding me as a local supplier. So I literally made all of the cookies by hand myself on the weekends for the first year. And I opened up personal credit cards and I managed my cash flow so that I was never running up bills on my credit cards. I was using them and paying them off. So I'd buy the ingredients I needed for my purchase orders. I would fulfill those purchase orders and then I would get paid and I'd pay down my credit card. And I did that for a full year. And I never had more than $10,000 of a line of credit, which I felt very comfortable that I would be able to pay down if I had to. If I went bankrupt or I had to close my business, that I would be able to absorb that 10 grand and move on with my life. And until I got to the point where I'd grown from 3 stores to 2 full regions. And thus I was getting purchase orders for, tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's when I went to banks and I was like, I'm going to get a line of credit instead of going to a VC and having to go and prove to them that I'm, first of all, in food, you have to have $1 million in sales for angel investors to even speak to you. And that is a tremendous amount of working capital when you think about it, because the margins are 30 to 40%. So to get to $1 million in sales, you have to have $600,000, $700,000 in cash. So that is a huge hurdle in the food industry. And VCs that I've spoken to who call themselves incubators say you have to have $5 million in sales in order to speak to them. So then that's millions of dollars in working capital that you have to have already to even talk to a VC. So I went and got personal loans. I went to TD Bank and I knew a lot about the lending industry coming from banking, which is a huge advantage for me. I know that there are small loans businesses out there. So I went to TD Bank and they had a small business program where I was able to get over $300,000 in lines of credit, which helped me fund those first large purchase orders. I did that for a year. I got private loans from TD Bank, and then I still had my credit cards, which I used when I needed to for immediate sort of cash flow. And then I also got an SBA loan through the government. Because my business was growing so rapidly, I actually decided to go and fund my business and raise real capital because it was growing at a rate that I couldn't barely keep up with via crowdfunding. So I put up a webpage on this crowdfunding platform. They agreed to take me, and I actually was able to raise $5 million. Had I not been able to do that, it would have been a struggle because of the hurdles that I've spoken about, because getting to $1 million in sales and getting to $5 million in sales, which is where the VCs and angel investors want you to be, is relatively challenging. I did not want to take a second mortgage out on my house or anything like that. I felt like that was too risky, which a lot of investors often have to do. But I did personally bankroll the company for the first 24 months and then was able to get it to a point where my growth and my sales were legitimate, and I could easily say that I had a viable business and was able to raise capital via crowdfunding. Now, this crowdfunding is an interesting beast because it's not that easy. Like when you talk to the crowdfunding people, they will say things like, "Oh yeah, like you put your website up, and then we have this investor base, and they're all going to invest." And that's not how it works. It's rather challenging to grab the attention of people online. But I was successful in doing it and am very lucky. Had that not happened, I don't know if I'd be sitting here today. But I did definitely have the intentional strategy of growing my business slowly, building up the revenue and the purchase orders slowly, and really owning and understanding the business myself, as opposed to going and jumping into and trying to get a VC to back me.
Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai. Then download the Millionaire X app, your AI powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business, it's different.
How much, because we watch Shark Tank and people will say they'll give a background like yours, and then all they have to do is mention, I went to Yale. And sometimes the sharks perk up and people think, hey, if you went to Yale, you have your MBA from Yale. Shout out to all the Bulldogs. How much do you think going to Yale prepared you for this, and did it help with any connections? Because people think, oh, well, if you went to an Ivy League like that, you might know the Kennedys, you might know whomever, you can make a call and they can open up a door. And with AI, some people are saying, what is school? But there's still a benefit, especially if you go to a good school, good program for the right reasons. So can you talk about that education and if it helped you at all?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So it doesn't it's so Yale is a wonderful program. I learned a lot there. Um, Yale helped open the door to get me the job at JP Morgan, which I think was a really important part of my success going and working in private wealth management and seeing a lot of people, understanding the finance side and really learning it, but also seeing how people actually make money and have started their businesses as opposed to just some of the business cases that you learn in business school. So all of that certainly was part of my success. But I think the thing that you already mentioned, what makes Yale so valuable is the network. The school itself is it's designed to be for education, right? So they're good at educating. They're not necessarily good business people at Yale. Not that they're bad business people, but they're not like, starting food startups. So the school itself was like emotionally supportive, but didn't have a lot of resources to help a young entrepreneur. Well, there is a club. But what I did and how I was able to really leverage that network was I used the most valuable thing in my career, whether it was getting a job in finance or starting my business, was the alumni network. And having access to that alumni network and saying, okay, now I'm a Yaley and I have access to this alumni network and I can reach out to people that I would not be able to reach out to for any other way and say, I'm starting a business, I need your help. Um, and that's what helped with the crowdfunding. I was able to reach out to Yale alumni and say, I'm raising funding. This is my business. You can go learn all about it on my website on the crowdfunding platform. And that was really how I was able to generate interest and get people involved in helping me raise capital. It was relatively successful because in crowdfunding, you're asking people for like $5,000, not 100. Right. And so, if you're a relatively wealthy person and you're already investing and this is something that you are engaged in, I also was able to find through the alumni network people who were invested in my mission. The people who were the biggest influence in helping me raise capital were people who had autoimmune diseases like mine and needed better gluten-free products. So it was the combination of not just finding capital, but finding your investor. So investors are partners, even if it's via crowdfunding. They're people who are invested in the success of your business, who are aligned with your mission and your goals, and also have the financial resources to help you. And so that is something that I've learned, and that's what you want in a partnership and in investors, people who really believe in your mission and want you to be successful and are invested in the entire sort of journey that you're on.
Now, this product that I said one cookie is one pack is left, because you can't leave your cookies out there. Everybody will be Santa Claus, has 7 grams of sugar. Now, I'm a recovering sugar addict, and I mean recently, due to some things. I found Miracle Berry, and I've been eating all the lemons and other things. to get off sugar. But to find a cookie with this much sugar and it still be good, tell the people, how difficult was that, and and have you been able to convert people who are used to having triple the amount of sugar? Because when you go healthy, some people say, I can miss what I know what I'm missing, and they want the toxic sugar
Yeah.
that I'm addicted to. Like I tell people, I'm a recovering addict from the sugar. It's only vice that I can't say no to until recently. So talk about, your experience with people who are addicted to sugar, and have you got people to say, yes, this is my brand, or some people so addicted that they're like, can you add some more sugar?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I would actually say, and I appreciate that. My cookies for a cookie have not very. So I want to be sure that this is not like my cookies are not like a health food. So I don't want anyone. If you're diabetic, you probably shouldn't eat my cookies. They've got chocolate chips and they have sugar in them, and they have, it's a cookie. It's a real cookie. It's meant to be indulgent. But for cookies, they have not a lot of sugar in them, relatively. But usually people are used to health food, like healthy your cookies and better for you cookies and allergen friendly cookies being like cardboard and having like nothing in them. So normally they're like 7 grams of sugar. Why isn't it 2? And I'm like, well, then it wouldn't be a cookie. It'd be more like a scone. um, and so I to answer your question, I think that getting people to try it is my biggest hurdle. As a entrepreneur and as someone in the better for you market, people are often skeptical. People don't look at it and say, oh, 7 grams of sugar and gluten free. Oh, I want to eat that. They go, oh, I don't want to try that. I've had bad experiences in the past. I know what this is all about. I'm not going to fall for your pretty marketing. So getting people to actually taste it and then become a believer is my biggest hurdle, which is why I come on podcasts like this and I have people talk to people like you, because the best endorsement I could get is for someone to have tried it and be like, no, I believe in this product. We've eaten the whole bag already. And we want to continue eating them. Please send us more. Right. So that is my biggest hurdle as on the better for you market with a more indulgent, more um, tasty product is actually converting that consumer and getting them to believe in me and take that chance, because gluten-free products are not cheap, and my cookies are gluten-free. Some of them are vegan and non-GMO, and all of those things increase my price point. So I'm a little bit more of a premium product on the shelf. And in this environment, getting people to try a new premium product that they might not enjoy is a hurdle. But we do sampling, we come on these podcasts, we get the word out there. We want to hear from the consumer what their experience is and what they think of our products.
Hello everyone, come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. We explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copies, available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
And with doing podcasts, have you thought about doing your own YouTube, your own, podcast? It's all the same thing nowadays, where you're showing people just the daily life with your little ones. I know it doesn't stop, and I know you don't need another thing to do in life, but having, your body cam or your drone follow you, have you considered that, for maybe branding a show?
I have considered it. I would say that, as you discussed, I would say it's a bandwidth issue. Certainly, filming is one thing, but having the bandwidth to like edit and produce something and get it out there is just something that, like, I am a small business. I've had a lot of success, but like I am the only employee of my company. So I am the CEO, I am sales, I am marketing, I am everything. I have a team that supports me. So I have operations people. have a co-manufacturer. I have a VP of sales, but I'm there. Like I'm traveling across the country 6 times a year to go to different trade shows. I am constantly flying all over the US to meet with buyers and talk to the specific grocery stores about my products. And then I have 2 little ones at home as well. So I do have a digital marketing team who are amazing, and they do all of my marketing. And whenever I can, I give them content from my life. But at this point, the bandwidth just isn't there to be able to do that. Because as you know, it's a lot of work. It's not something that happens overnight. Even just coming and being on these podcasts is a lot of work for me. It's something I do every week, but it's what I can handle. So so I come on, I create the content on these podcasts, and then you guys on the other end, you do all of the post production for me.
Gotcha. And when you think about it, it's like anything else. When your hands get full, hire. I tell my clients, hire, get somebody. I don't care if it's in this country or another, hire and see, because I mean you have an episode every day just juggling things, and it inspires people. Why I've done this show alone for 7 years, but I've done others. Can you tell people, one of the hardest things about entrepreneurship journey that they don't see, every day? Because everyone talks about the great, hey, we produced, we got another SKU, but what don't people see?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. And I would say that the hardest thing about being a small business owner in general is the uncertainty, and it's yourself. Um, so what I love that you said that, because I feel like in business school, when you talk to entrepreneurs, they just talk about their big wins, right? And they're like, oh, it's so exciting and this happened so quickly. And it's years and years of being kicked in the face. So I would describe being an entrepreneur, even in a business that has been growing, and I've had a lot of really exciting wins and successes along the way. But each and every day, like those successes happen once every 6 months, once every 18 months, you have these huge breakthrough. And those 6 months in between is just getting kicked in the face every single day and having everything that can go wrong absolutely go wrong. Like just unbelievable stories of things that are catastrophic. And what you learn really quickly as a business owner, as a CEO, is like, oh, I no longer have control. Or as a banker, I was in complete control over my productivity because I was the one actually executing things. I don't really, as a CEO, I don't really execute anything. Since the days when I made the cookies myself, I had a lot of control, but I am way past that. I'm making millions of cookies. And so I have to rely on these partners, whether it's manufacturers making packaging, my co-man making the cookies, my sales team effectively selling things, my digital marketing team getting things up on the website. I am not physically doing it. So my job is now getting people to really be phenomenal at their job. And that is hard and challenging. And it's a completely different skill set than what you do most of your career. Um, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
No, you're good. You're good. And we're gonna move to the next questions. I have so many. I'd love to do Joe Rogan style because I believe you are in the past also a stockbroker on Wall Street. At least that's
Yeah.
the Cyrus Web show. I remember. Shout out to Cyrus, a dear friend of mine for over a decade. But at what level did you say I can do this full time and I'm gonna quit that job because that's a serious job with serious money? We all saw Gordon Greco on Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
At what level are goals? Because so many people are scared to take that jump. So maybe you can help them say, well, once I could surpass my check there, or once I matched my bills, or what was it? Let them know so they can maybe take that leap as well, if it's right for them.
That is a great question, and that was probably the hardest decision I had to make as a founder, was finally walking away from my business and from my paycheck. I will say that the fact that I have a partner, my wife has income and a salary, made it a little bit easier, but certainly my wife, when I went full time, my wife was 6 months pregnant. So we had a lot of risk. And the thing that was finally the trigger, and it was the best decision I ever made. Once the decision was made and it was done, it was like the biggest relief. But up until that point with a pregnant partner it was very scary. But I literally my business was growing and it required my full attention. And it was growing. And I was having to stay up until 2, 3 in the morning to keep up with it and just to keep everything going. And then I had this um, stockbroker business and I had over 100 clients. And I take that. It's a huge responsibility to to be managing people's money and their estates and their trusts and their retirements and their future and all of those things. And I took that and very, very seriously. Um, and I was overwhelmed with guilt. And that's what was the trigger for my decision. I was overwhelmed with guilt that I wasn't investing in this thing that I'd worked so hard and sacrificed so much to build. And I was overwhelmed with guilt that I felt like I wasn't really giving my clients the 120% that they deserved and that I'd always been able to give. And I could no longer had the capacity to do both. For a long time, I could do both and there was no guilt. And I was crushing it at both because the business was relatively small. It was a side hustle, it was something I could manage on the weekends. I could fully engage with my clients and give them all the attention that I needed. And then it got to the point where both of my businesses were growing at the same time. And I was like, I can't emotionally operate under this much pressure. I have to make a choice. And I chose my business. And once it was done, it was the greatest thing. And that was 6 months later was when I raised the $5 million because I was able to focus for 6 months just on my business, growing my business, raising the capital and doing what I needed to do. And I handed over my stockbroker business to another person within the organization and handed my clients over to someone who could invest fully on them. But it was an emotionally, physically overwhelming point to get to and a decision to make. You can't really be an entrepreneur and not eventually take that step. Because if you're successful, your business is going to require it's great that I'm my own boss, but I work all day, every day, or no matter if I'm on vacation, if it's the evening, like I am working all of the time. There's no such thing as vacation when you're an entrepreneur. Obviously I tell my team I'm going on vacation, but it doesn't matter. Things happen and they need me because I'm the only full-time employee and I'm the CEO and I'm the only one who can make the decision. And that's fine. I love it, but it also is a completely different lifestyle from just having a 9 to 5 and being able to unplug at the end of the day.
Can you tell people, because some people, pitch competitions, my wife has won some for, stuff in healthcare, but we've also turned down VC money because they really sometimes want to own you and feel
100%. Thank you for saying that.
But there's a lot of people who watch like the Shark Tanks or the Lion's Den, wherever you guys are in the world. I know internationally because I get the emails for the listeners. Mostly, you guys, when you go to YouTube, please get the numbers up there. But can you tell people when you raise 5 million or even if you raise $1, you don't go get to spend it on whatever you want. Some people think you get this money and you can and now I'm going to go buy the car. I'm going to go buy the house.
Oh, no, that's very illegal. That's against the law. I mean, I come from finance, so I know that is, against the law. I have a Series 7 and Series 63. You can't do that. The money has to go into the business and it has to be justifiable. If something went awry and the investors lost all their money and that you have a new Rolls Royce, that would be a big problem. I was actually, my response after raising all that money was I think because I take wealth and asset management so seriously was fear. I was really overwhelmed by the responsibility. I mean, I had over 2,000 investors invest in me. I was able to raise $5 million. And then that was an incredibly overwhelming responsibility to have. And I still am very defensive. Like I still manage my company as though I'm bankrolling it. So I'm very tight-fisted about it. And I'm very thoughtful about how I'm spending the money, who I'm hiring, and really trying to make the funding last as long as I can. And I still have, I mean, I raised the money in 2021 and I still have a good amount of money that we're still building. But I try to make sure that if I'm spending money, it's either going directly into um, working capital or it's a really thoughtful strategic investment that I'm expecting there to be an immediate return within the next, 4 months, 6 months to a year. Um, and yeah, I don't spend it on me. I mean, I still fly coach. Like that is what's keeping me alive. It's like having cash in this business is like having air to breathe. And so I'm extremely defensive. In fact, I wouldn't say that I have to like talk myself. I'm like, this is a risky business. This is a financial risk you need to take because you need to invest in your business. And it's okay. You're going to be okay. But yeah, spending the money is what keeps me up at night. Like having it and seeing it.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
I'm glad you said what you said. I'm asking everyone who has dealt with this in my interviews these questions because, especially after COVID, from different people, clients, they say, well, don't you have to look the part? Real estate agents are the worst. They
Yeah.
feel that, they can't show up in just anything. And it's like, no, you don't, not with other people's money, at least you don't. And
Yeah. No. No one sees me get on or off the plane. I'm not trying to like, and when I mean, I'm in cookies, it's a pretty I'm in food, so it's not like I'm showing up at offices. So I need to look the part. I also think that, there's a reason why you see these tech guys wearing t-shirts, right? They're raising billions of dollars are showing up to work in t-shirts and jeans. And it's because they're trying to show the world and the investors that I am working on my job and I want to focus on nothing else. But this is my job. I don't need to be worried about wearing my pearls and getting my, um, Chanel jacket on, which is a world I came from. Certainly in private banking, you have to look the part. But now my job is to, generate sales, get my products out there, focus on my industry, make sure I'm reducing costs. And that does not require a set of pearls or anything fancy.
I'm glad you said it because if another person comes to the house in a Versace shirt who's here to fix something, and I say, where am I? I know I'm in South Florida, but my goodness, that's a great explanation. What is a community give back that you're doing or that you plan to do? And how can the community that is experiencing this show, if there's a way for them to help you with it, please let them know. But one that you're doing or that you would like to do in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we are a mission-based company. Um, when you're growing, you feel really vulnerable. Even though I have capital, it still feels incredibly vulnerable. One of the things that we're really committed to and passionate about is both food waste and also hunger in the US. So there's things that happen in manufacturing with product and it's not quite saleable to the public. But you can get your products to people who need food because who doesn't want a cookie? And especially if it's better for you. So we work with local food banks and pantries to make sure that whenever we do have an overstock situation or there's a product that's not quite shelf ready, but certainly edible and nourishing, that we get work with those pantries. And I think that that's especially acute right now with people being uncertain about SNAP and all the headlines and there just being hunger and that being wintertime. So being in Manhattan, obviously, we are aware that there's a lot of people in need. And so we work locally to make sure that we're getting any food or products that we have that can benefit people to our local food banks and charities. And I would say that um, for everyone, doesn't matter where you are. I'm really passionate about working with women's shelters because so many of the Americans in the US who are homeless are actually children. And their children often living with their single mother. And they're the people who really need our support in getting a leg up and getting back on their feet. So please, if you have extra clothing, extra food, if you have extra dollars that you can donate to your local women's shelter, that's what I would encourage everyone to do.
Okay. And here's a question. I saw on the website, you guys had the cookie with the ice cream. I haven't had ice cream since Van Leeuwen, or for my Americans, Van Leeuwen, have stopped their dairy-free ice cream, at least down here at Sprouts. I can't find it. They told me it's discontinued. What's the best ice cream to pair with your
Yo,
cookies that's in that pitcher?
yeah. That depends on who you. Everyone asks me this question. It's so hard because all of my cookies are my babies. It's like ask me what's my favorite cookie. So I definitely, and you noticed that you said you love the coconut. So just so you know, my oatmeal coconut cookie is my best-selling cookie, which in America is unheard of because chocolate chip rules the world here. My chocolate chip cookies are number 2 and number 3, but number 1 is oatmeal coconut, and that is a phenomenal cookie to crumble over ice cream, like you're making crumble pie. To break it up and put it over ice cream, and of course, it's a coconut cookie. I'm gonna put it over vanilla coconut ice cream. I don't have a specific brand because I'm not vegan, though I make vegan products. I'm gonna use Haagen-Dazs. Like, I hear you about the sugar, but, like, because I'm already celiac and there's so many things I can't eat, like, gluten is in everything. It's in soy sauce. It's in things like cinnamon and spices. It's used as a color, as a filler, and as a preservative, so it's in everything. I'm already so limited on what I can eat, but I can eat Haagen-Dazs. So when I have sugar, I want it to be, like, sugar.
I'm glad you can enjoy Haagen-Dazs because I heard how, to travel, you got to do Airbnb because,
Yeah, yeah,
hotels aren't there.
yeah.
Have you started writing the book?
I haven't. That's another thing. I mean, I should have a cookbook, if I'm being honest. Like, the first book I should write should be a cookbook because 'cause I'm so passionate about helping people, and I have so much um, experience with gluten-free, and the chemistry really isn't taught even in culinary schools. The chemistry for gluten-free cooking really isn't out there. It's not anywhere you can find. I have so much knowledge, so, of course, I wanna start with a cookbook. I think that's gonna be the next time I raise funding, I'll be more investing in the literature side of it and getting more knowledge out there and really increasing the efficacy of my brand through like really teaching people how to bake gluten free, how to be allergen friendly, but also how to achieve really wonderful bakery results and not having to sacrifice anything um, by being, gluten free or allergen friendly or anything like that. So next, I think I am thinking about it. It's something I would love to do. Um, but it'll be my next capital raise.
All right, all right. Well, you let the people know where they can find you because whatever you say, I'm going to have in the description wherever people experience it. I know most of you are on Podbean, most of you are on Apple, Spotify, but again, go over to the YouTube, give it some love. But where can they find you so they can find out what the next thing is and stay tuned?
Yeah, so if you want to get cookies really fast, order us on Mightylicious.com. We ship to all 50 states. If you order 3 bags or more, shipping is free. Um, You can also find us on Amazon. So if you don't want to go to Mightylicious, go to Amazon.com. You'll find our storefront there. We are in grocery stores all across the US. We are in Walmart's on the East Coast. We're in HEB in Texas. We are going to be in Southeast Grocers down in Florida. So we're launching Southeast Grocers in December this month. Also, and I'm so glad you mentioned Sprouts. So we have a partnership with Sprouts. We're going to be on their innovation table. Um, our brown butter chocolate chip and our vegan chocolate chip cookies are on the innovation table, so you'll be able to try us on any Sprouts nationwide. We also have launched a brand new product, which you didn't even receive. We have launched our vegan gluten-free brownies, which are exclusive to Sprouts for this month. This brownie, so you have the brownie mix. That is the best thing I've ever made. I am astonished by it, and I've been baking gluten-free now for over a decade. So if you have a local Sprouts near you and you are vegan or gluten-free or neither, because this brownie, so I didn't realize how good this brownie was until I was actually in Arizona. I was at a food show. The Sprouts team was there. I had just created this SKU because Kroger had asked me for flour blends, and so I needed a third SKU. So I created this brownie blend. I had my manufacturer make me the brownies, and he just used the instructions on the back. And he was like, how do I make this, Carolyn? I was like, the instructions are on the bag. Do it the same way that people are going to do it. made me these brownies. I walked into the show with these brownies, handed them out. People came back like literally almost in tears. These were people who are not gluten-free, who are not vegan, have no health issues. They're like, that is the best brownie I have tasted. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, this is going to be a thing. I was at that show and Sprouts is like, your cookies are great, Carolyn, but we want that brownie. Make us a brownie. And so when it's hard enough to get like Sprouts to even speak to you, I've been trying to get into Sprouts for over 7 years. They not only, so to have a retailer with the power and the influence as Sprouts to come to you and say, make us this, you know you're onto something. So if you are a brownie lover, please go to Sprouts. This is the only place they're available, and pick up a bag of these brownies. I want to hear your feedback. I want you to tell me what you think of them.
I gotta open these up shortly and prepare.
Well, that's a mix. So that's the thing. So I created the brownie mix. The brownie mix is available at Kroger's, all different branches of Kroger's. You can also buy that online. But I actually made ready to meet brownies. So it's just like the cookie bags. They're only available at Sprouts.
You guys have got that game.
But please go order. If you like brownies, go order that brownie mix. If you're looking for something to bring, if you have a gluten-free relative and you're looking for something to bring to like Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, make them some of those brownies. You just add some water and some coconut yogurt and you mix it up and it's the best brownie, I promise.
Yes. You guys have got that game. Make sure with those brownies, some of y'all, if you add anything extra to it, my California folks.
I would love to get into that. I don't know how to get into that, but that network needs to find these brownies because that's what they're for.
Yeah.
But that community, it's that community, because that community needs a gluten-free vegan brownie that is absolutely delectable. I just don't know how to get it. I don't know how to get in there without losing my sponsors.
Well, there's going to be somebody who hits you up because of like, I'm at the dispensary right now. We
Exactly. They're like, oh, I was looking for something. Yeah, I support this. It'll work really well for that for that application.
You know what? I have a former guest, the Green Baker. I'm actually gonna send this to her and tell her about that because that's her specialty here in.
We're a very family-friendly brand, so we can't suddenly start marketing it. But would be wonderful for the application as a someone with little kids.
Yeah, and again, we talk about it in the medicine that it is for many.
For anxiety, mhm.
Yeah, so many things. So
Yeah.
guys, don't think we're just telling you to.
It's true. It has medical applications.
Yeah, we don't want you to be half-baked Dave Chappelle just floating for no reason. It's
Not at all.
medicine. If you do though, just don't harm anybody, please.
Yeah.
And so you
Go responsibly at home.
Yes, we gave all the warnings out there. You folks have gotten the game. I thank you for listening to the end. Now, when it is safe for you to, in case you're driving, I want you guys to give a comment. You can definitely give a like, but however you experience this, can you please share this game with somebody? It will change their life. You guys be blessed out there.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.